Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Goddess Victory Nikke video, and we have a developer's note to go over that is really interesting. This is packed with a ton of information. Some of it is a little whatever, starts off with some stuff I'm not sure we really care about, but it gets like juicier and juicier as we dig into it. So let's go ahead and just start. I definitely have a lot of thoughts on this. And yeah, okay, so the first one just kind of talks about the dessert minigame that we just had, and they're like, hey, it was based off of the Gift Factory one. Okay, I feel like we all knew that. I mean, I'm not sure why this is in the developer's note, but then they're like, we will be providing more new minigames in the future. I don't know, maybe they're just like trying to assure people that they're not going to just keep copying old minigames in the future, but whatever. Anyway, I enjoyed it, by the way. I really like that minigame. Okay, major improvements. So improvements to coordinated operation. So coordinated operation is a real-time multiplayer game, blah, blah, blah. As such, many players have given different suggestions to improve excuse me, to improve this gameplay, and we are beginning the enhancements in an organized manner by starting from the ideas we've sorted out. So first of all, we will be upgrading the gameplay's burst usage voting system. I'm not sure what to think about this. So it says, after the upgrades, a burst skill will be activated upon receiving votes from 3 players. This is to ensure the game can progress smoothly even if some players are unable to use the skills due to network issues. So, I mean, we've all experienced the, shit show that co-op operation can be when you're playing with randoms. One of the things that makes it difficult is when people either just like refuse to play or they disconnect, on accident or whatever, and then you're stuck there not being able to burst at all, and it can definitely cause some frustration if you don't have people that you know to play with. So it looks like we'll be able to, the people that are playing will be able to like tap on something that says, all right, burst now, even if you're not the character that would normally burst on their own. So I guess this is a positive, but to be honest, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be like too defeatist for people who don't have like IRL people to coordinate with, but I'm not sure we really needed this. Like, I feel like a lot of people are just gonna like you're not gonna get a high score anyway, but I guess it'll be interesting to see what happens with this. Cool, I suppose. It says, at the same time, we will be making improvements so that when players fail to interrupt the boss's attack, that occurs after the completion of the 9th stage rewards, the player's characters will be wiped out completely. So we kind of already had this, but I think as people have gotten stronger, it hasn't worked as well. But they changed this like a long time ago to the point where after you reach the stage 9 damage, the boss would do a massive attack and almost wipe people out. But I guess they're going to make sure this actually happens. So for those players that do want to move on as quickly as possible, they don't have to sit through the rest of the battle. But I feel like this is kind of like at odds with the last thing that we just talked about with the burst gauge, because we're going to have people just quitting right away, by not interrupting the attack. But then we're also trying to encourage people to, be able to keep going if other people haven't been using their burst. So I don't know. I think bottom line is you're still just going to need people that are actually coordinated that you've been like talking to on Discord or whatever. Okay, let me know what your thoughts are on that part specifically. But let's move on to the next item, improvements to the battle's controls. And this one is really interesting. So it says, Nikke battles are designed in a way where Nikkes can flexibly utilize covers to avoid projectiles. However, we recently received feedback about the difficulty to take cover to projectiles in certain characters and costumes. So sometimes, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed this, when you take cover, some characters, depending on where they're positioned or what skin they're using, they may still take damage. And I've actually had this happen. This has been a long time ago, but I want to say it was with Modernia on Gravedigger. She's like still kind of sticking out and she'll take damage. And I'm sure there are other situations where this has happened. They point out this could have been trouble during the Crystal Chamber for some people. It says, we will conduct internal system adjustments and test as soon as possible to fix this issue. By early March, the cover feature will be adjusted to be more uniform regardless of character or costume. This is definitely good because, I mean, you want your cover to work, right? When you go undercover, you should just be undercover. We'd also like to share We've made improvements to some weapon types in terms of fatigue during manual operation. So this is talking about quick charging with snipers and rocket launchers. Through the survey conducted last December, we have confirmed your needs for manual operation. I mean, I think they're talking about the fact that people still want to be able to play on manual. We don't want to just be like, incentivized to only do auto. And we decided to roll out the following improvements after a series of intense internal discussions. So the whole quick charging thing and the use of macros, which they're not pointing out here but is definitely related to this issue, has been a controversy with this game for months, like almost ever since it came out. So they say that we will provide an additional burst gauge for sniper rifles and rocket launcher characters with reticles based on the weapon's charge time. The additional burst gauge and charge time will increase proportionally, and this will be applicable in both manual and auto battles. However, please note that this will not apply to the other 4 nikkes without reticles. This way, the character's performance will not be compromised. There will still be a difference between auto and manual battles, but it won't cause a significant gap, minimizing the difference in experience. We expect to roll out this adjustment in April, as it requires a careful decision. The internal discussions are being prolonged. We hope for your kind understanding, and we sincerely thank every commander who gave us precious opinions. You are the ones making our game better. And I really like that they're pointing out that they are listening to the players' feedback and they are seriously implementing things that people actually want and discuss. I continue to be impressed by Shift Up and the nikke development team specifically with the way they handle the game. They really are a rare developer in the mobile game space right now. But okay, so let's talk about what this is actually doing. So the key here, I think, is the additional burst gauge and charge time will increase proportionally. So what I'm pretty sure this means is that previously, you could get a massive charge speed increase if you just quick tapped and didn't let it go to full charge, right? Because you get the same amount of charge on your burst gauge as you would as if you did a full charge. Now it sounds like, depending on how far it's charged, you'll get that much in your burst gauge. So if you do a bunch of quick charges versus one long charge in the same span of 2 seconds or whatever, you'll get the same amount added to your burst gauge. So this will dramatically, I think, improve the situation with people needing to quick charge or potentially use a macro. I think this is a very, very positive change to the game. This is really interesting. And honestly, I feel like that's kind of how it should have been in the first place. I think, having your burst amount contributed to your gauge based on how far you charge just makes sense. I kind of think that's how it should have been in the first place. Some people will probably not really like this change. I'd really like to know your opinion. I can see some pros and cons to this, but I think this is pretty cool and overall a big W for the player base and a welcome change to the game. So I think it's important to point out that it says nikkes with a reticle. So this, I'm assuming, refers to just the character you are controlling. So you can see the reticle on the screen, and then the auto ones are kind of do what they're doing, right? Okay, that is probably the biggest, most significant change, but there's still tons of stuff coming here. But that, I think, has big implications to competitive game modes like solo raid. Okay, so schedule of other improvements. We got some massive stuff coming here and some really, really cool things. Nikke is not staying stagnant at all. All right, so schedule of other improvements. We have finished developing the features that give a notice when the squad is near a lost relic on the field. So it's going to be easier to find the relics when you get close to them. You won't have to just tap around continuously for every little centimeter of the map. This is a huge win. But it says, which we mentioned in the previous developer's note, this feature will be introduced in early March, and we hope that it will help enhance your experience with Lost Relics. Yes, definitely will enhance our experience. And then it says the quick battle features in Arena, also brought up in the previous developer's note, is under development as well. Contrary to our previous expectations, some delays have occurred, and we are now aiming to complete the update by the end of March. All right, pretty cool. I mean, I feel like it's good that they are going to make sure the update is actually ready to go. They're not rushing it out. And having a quick battle thing for Arena, if you want to utilize that, I think is definitely a good thing. It can speed up some repetitive dailies, particularly like in Rookie Arena, if you just want to like spam your attacks really quick. That is a good change. So no big deal if it's a little bit delayed. That's okay. So updates on development of contents, improvements to Simulation Room overclock schedule of Season 2. Now this is a little bit of sad news, I think, because it means we're not getting overclock for a long time, because it says that the season will be extended for 4 weeks. We're getting beta Season 2, and it will begin at the end of March. So we're not going to have any overclock for a whole other month, and even then that's just like another version of the beta. So maybe the final version will come at the end of April or May or something like that. So we still have a ways to wait for overclock, but they are making some adjustments and improvements to it. So one of the things they said is that they will have a fixed type of boss in the boss stage, minimizing the factor of luck. I actually kind of don't like this. I feel like having some RNG in the game is good. I mean, on one hand, we do want things to be a fair and consistent experience, but if everything's just guaranteed to be the same, I actually don't like that as much. I feel like having dynamic bosses appear kind of makes it a little more interesting, and having some unexpected things to react to in the game is not a bad thing. Like always having like set attack patterns like in solo raid is actually something that I'm not a fan of. I actually prefer having a little bit of RNG, because then it's not just like a hard gear check on whoever can get the highest score. It also tests your ability to kind of like react to, changing situations. Although I will say, with having to choose between attacks in like the new crystal stage, was a step in the right direction for having like, dynamic experiences, but also, eventually the community kind of figures out which one is the correct one to choose. And then again, it becomes a little samey. So a little bit of a tangent here. This is sort of like related to this, but anyway, it's good to know that they're continuing to develop the overclock mode, and it's definitely something that I'm still excited about and looking forward to, and we will be getting a lot of rewards, at least at the end of March. So look forward to that. They ask for our patience, and they deserve our patience. Okay, addition of collectible and decorative elements. This is really cool. I really like this, and I wasn't expecting this. So it says that firstly, we will be allocating a space on the profile page to display 5 avatar frames. So you can see in the screenshot here, you can see 5 more additional display frames, besides just the one that you're actually using to frame your avatar. This is really cool, I think, because, by now we all have so many frames, and we only get to display one at a time. And what usually happens, and this goes for like a lot of different games, is people just show whatever the most recent thing is, and then like everyone's displaying the same thing, whether it's a title or a frame or like the newest like raid armor or whatever, for other games, and then you just like always use the newest thing, and it doesn't show those cool past achievements. So I think it's really nice to be able to display more frames here. But also, speaking of titles, they are going to be adding titles, which is something that I was not expecting at all. We will be introducing the personal info card system, a feature which allows you to decorate the upper portion of your profile page with backgrounds and stickers. So additional customization here. This is pretty cool. I like it. This almost looks like it's being pulled straight from Discord. I mean, not that this is super unique, to be honest, but this is really cool. Please look forward to adorable stickers and beautiful backgrounds we'll have in store for you. Once the update schedule is confirmed, we will let you know through official channels and developers notes. So they're not even giving us any kind of date on this, so this might be quite a while in the future, but either way, this is really cool. I'm definitely excited about it. It says, other than this, we are planning the title system, a feature where you can display a challenge in your profile, just like the avatar frames. Each challenge will be granted through granting you a unique title, but please allow me to clarify beforehand that the factors such as attributes are not included in it. So I think that means like you won't get any actual like in-game effects or powers. I'm assuming that's what that means. The title system features a challenge-based collection that can be obtained through gameplay. As this is currently in the planning stage, we'll share more details once the update schedule is finalized. So this is pretty cool. Just another way to flex some of the things that you've done, and another way to, just customize things and have fun with your player card. I like it. Okay, side story update. So they mentioned this previously. It says the official name for the special story content has been decided. From now on, we will bring you enjoyable scenarios that are fully voiced through the side story. The first side story title, Sound Affection, second Affection, is set to be revealed in early April. As it is a story derived from the main story, we will do our best to prepare it. Please give us lots of support. This is really cool. More story is great, and I look forward to main story relevant content specifically. This is really, really cool. Nikke has a great story, and we're getting more of it. Also, Red Ash in Archives. So if you guys missed Red Ash, I do feel sorry for you because the anniversary event was amazing, but it'll now be something that you can experience, at least to a certain extent, in the Archives, which is really cool, along with the original MOG in Archives. So they say that they're going to continue to develop it. Like months ago, they were saying they were going to make an improved version of it. So they're going to start off by giving us the original version that'll be playable, and they're going to add more improvements. And in the future, we'll get a updated version of it, which is really, really cool. This is hands down the best mini game that they've added, and I think it's really cool. Maybe they'll continue to give like updates over time. They're not saying this specifically, but we're going to at least get the one update. But it would be really cool if this was just like a continuous thing where they keep adding new features, new stages, new weapons, things like that. Because this is something that almost deserves to even be its own game. Okay, we're still going. Assessment of equipment acquisition experience. So by introducing the manufacturer arm system in 2023, we enhanced the experience. So I think it's talking about the boxes that you can get. However, due to the limited number of abnormal characters, we plan to conduct an assessment of equipment acquisition experience this year. Our aim is to confirm whether an imbalance between obtaining and consuming the manufacturer equipment is causing discomfort. Everyone pulling that abnormal defender gear, I'm sure you guys can say it is causing discomfort. This is definitely one of the things that people complain about the most. I know some players have literally quit the game due to just not being able to get the gear that they want. This sounds like a move in the right direction. And limiting the number of abnormal gear specifically, I think is probably a good thing to do because, as they point out, there aren't that many abnormal characters. However, this does make me nervous that we might not be getting another collaboration for a long time. There's nothing in the works, which would be really unfortunate. I hope that's not what that really means. I'm still really hoping for an Evangelion collaboration. That would be amazing. But honestly, any collab would be cool. It's one of the most fun things that we get in mobile games. The community always looks forward to new collaborations, so I hope this isn't an indication that we won't be getting any in the future. Pure speculation, but just the fact that they're reducing abnormal gear right now, and we didn't get any kind of like sneak preview of a collab coming, just kind of makes me a little nervous on this. But I think for most people, this is going to be a huge win. An opportunity to get more manufactured gear that you actually want is definitely a positive. All right, new growth content. Let me introduce new growth contents to be updated at the end of April. This is huge and something that I was not expecting at all, and it's coming pretty quickly, only 2 months from now. So after the update, all Nikkes will possess high-quality upgrade material collectibles. Once Nikkes are equipped with collectibles, the properties that match their weapon characteristics will be enhanced. So furthermore, the collectibles of some characters have undergone 3 limit breaks, can be upgraded to treasures, which will enhance the attributes of Nikkes who own them. New illustrations and exclusive story episodes related to the treasures will be released. This is really, really cool. So this looks like a new gear system, an additional way to customize your characters. So let's look at this and read this one more time. It says all Nikkes will possess high quality upgrade materials collectibles. Once Nikkes are equipped with collectibles, the properties that match their weapon characteristics will be enhanced. So another piece of equipment that will enhance their weapon And it says, furthermore, the collectibles of some characters who have undergone 3 limit breaks. So this is an incentive to get limit breaks on your characters can be upgraded to treasures. So another way to upgrade this equipment. And this I think is really good because honestly, for a lot of characters, there isn't a lot of incentive to pull max limit break. Now, this does mean that it's going to make you pull for characters more, which, the game is wanting to make more money, makes sense. I think Nikke is very, very free to play friendly, within the gacha genre. And I think making it, more of a push to want max limit break characters is a good thing. But, besides that, I think this is going to give new or old characters new life, and all those characters that you've kind of like built up over time with max limit breaks is going to get something new and maybe a reason to use them. So if we look, we can see this image here. They give a little disclaimer that it may change in the future, but let's take a look. It says the characters who can possess treasures at the time of implementation will be Laplace, Diesel, Freema, and Exia, who currently have low activation rates. So these are characters that people are not using at all. Kind of surprised that Laplace and Diesel are on this list. I mean, by now, I guess hardly anybody's using them. Freema and Exia were probably never really used, even at launch. But it says, we are sharing the illustration of Laplace's treasures along with the developer's note, but please understand that this is not yet finalized. So Laplace, it says enhancement to true damage, Diesel enhancement to taunt and survivability, increase the damage enhance buff, Freema enhancement to EFF of true damage, Exia expansion and enhancement of applicable targets. So this is going to be really cool to see what exactly this does and what kind of changes we get to characters. And the fact that older characters will now get updates, I imagine they'll probably roll them out from old characters to newer characters. So it might catch up those older characters to be a little bit more relevant and usable and sort of more on a similar level with the new characters. And then, of course, eventually the newer characters will get their enhancements and they'll be better again and so on. But this is a way to sort of breathe life into those older characters and a new way to, work on the characters that you like. I really, really like this. This might be my favorite thing and something that I'm most excited about for everything that they talked about in this developer's note. This is an amazing update, guys. I feel like I've been talking forever about this, but also super fast just because I'm super hyped about it. It says, lastly, we have shared quite a lot of information. Yes, you did. In our recent developers notes, and we hope you enjoy the rich contents. Yes, we have. The content shown in the image attachment is also under development. We're still subject to changes. They're really giving a lot of disclaimers on this. And says, we humbly accept our weaknesses, and the development operations team will work hard together to make an even more enjoyable game. I think that Shift Up is making all the right moves here. Not to say that it's a perfect game, but it is continually being improved. And I think the development team, I'd like to take a moment to personally thank you guys. You put in a lot of work, and, the working conditions and hours and compensation that game developers face in general, we know can be very, very difficult. And particularly the work environment in Korea can be very, very difficult. And so I want to say thank you, Shift Up development team. You're doing a great job. We appreciate your hard work, and the player base, I think really does appreciate you. And I look forward to more years of Nikke. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. What's the thing that you're most looking forward to? And is there anything that you're not really happy about? Because, maybe there are some changes that we didn't want. Who knows? I want to hear you either way. Yeah, all right. I will see you guys in the next video or stream. I'm going to have an unboxing video coming soon, and of course, streaming later tonight. And hope you guys have a good day, and I'll catch you guys in the next video or stream.